Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra from Craftably Ever After and welcome to another video. Now friends, as most weeks these days, I don't actually have a lot of projects to show you, but again, I've had a relaxing week of crochet. I am trying not to put too much pressure on myself this year. If I don't get to do anything, that's fine. If I get to do a lot, that's also fine. This year is just a year of go with the flow, and I am just going to allow myself to enjoy crochet, to do whatever I feel like, and to only do what I love. So if a project does not spark some sort of joy and excitement in me, I am just not going to do it or continue with it. Anyway, this week I've done a few projects that have given me a lot of joy. Now, the first thing I want to share with you is regarding the Amigurumi World Tour 2024 that I started in June last year. Many of you have joined in. As you know, I have shipped 2 of these physical books, The Whimsical Stitches by Lauren Espy. I've shipped 2 books into the world. One of the books have done the rounds only in the US. The second book is doing the rounds in a lot of other countries apart from the US. So it's sort of gone through Europe, then it went to the UK. It's currently in Canada. From Canada, we've got a few people there that will still receive the book. From Canada, we're going to New Zealand, Australia, and then back to Denmark. Now, the exciting thing this week was that our US book has reached the very last person on our list, Claudia. She sent me an email in the week, told me that she did receive the book, it arrived safe and sound with her, and she will be completing her project sometime over this weekend. Now, the only project remaining, as far as I could tell, or I'm fairly certain, is the daisy. So every project has now been picked. Well, between the 2 books, we've sort of reached the point of where all the projects were picked a couple of months ago. But this week marked the very last project in our US book. So I'm super excited. I cannot wait for Claudia to send me her project photo that I can add it to the journal. I've uploaded a few projects onto the journal throughout the last week. So I'll post the journal, I think, within the next day or 2 as soon as I get Claudia's project. And then in this week, I got, well, apart from all the other projects I received a photo of the daisy from Teresa. Now, Teresa was also a recipient of the US book. She has been making all the projects along with the US book as it went on. So she was only short of the daisy, as was I. The daisy is also the very last project that I still had to do. And then I got Teresa's project and she's like, well, I've completed the entire book. Now it is your turn. So I'm like, oh, if someone throws out a challenge, I have to take it. Especially if it has to do with the Amigurumi World Tour. So with Teresa now having done every single project in the book, I thought I had to do it. I have to just sit down and complete the daisy, which I did. So the daisy, even though I left out the little pot because I like to wrap the flowers a little differently, it is cute in the pot. So in the book, let me just show you, they do show you how to put it into like a little terracotta pot. Let me just get to the page like this. So this page, you got the sunflower was the main pattern, and then there was a variation for the daisy. Now I did split some of the patterns just so that we could have more people participate in receiving the book. So the very last project. As I said, I've been putting it off for ages. The daisy was chosen by our international book a while back. I just was not in the mood for it. I think it's because it has a lot of parts to sew on. But with Teresa completing the book, I thought, no, I have to do it now. I've got to complete it. And I'm so glad I did. actually, while we had movie night last night, I was sitting and just casually working on this little daisy. Now, my daisy does actually have one more petal. Mine's got 10. In the book, they actually tell you to make 9 petals and then sew it on, but I sewed the petals on as I made it. I thought I don't want to do a ton of sewing all at once at the end, and how I positioned them, it ended up that I had space for a 10th petal. So I did everything, the stem, the leaves, 10 petals, the little back you crochet. It's very clever how she just does another little circle to cover up where you attach the stem. But I really actually like how this one turned out. I made this, as I did with most of the projects from this book. I used Rainbow Cotton 86, which is a sport weight yarn, and I used a 2.5mm hook. So this is the very last project of our US book. I have now completed every single pattern in this book. It is the only book I can say that about. As I say, I know Teresa, she beat me to it. So she also completed every pattern. And I know there's a few other ladies who's very close, like only missing one of the projects to also have completed all of the different patterns in this book. Now, if I missed out on a pattern, anyone who's sort of been doing all of the patterns, if you know that you have sent me every single pattern in the book, please let me know, because it could be that I've missed one of your projects. Like I say, there's a few ladies I know that's been doing, we've all been doing it like the whole time, every time a project gets chosen. So there's quite a few people who are very close, like 1 or 2 projects away from also having done them all. Now, it was not a requirement. If you wanted to join in on the Amigurumi World Tour, to send a project for our Hello From pages, which is this journal that I have on my blog. I will put a link in the description box. You did not have to do every project. If you wanted to do one project, that was fantastic. I just love that we have dozens and dozens and dozens of different people who joined in on this crazy idea that I had about 8 months ago now. It started in June of 2024. We've had some hiccups along the way, and now very soon I will have one of our books back here with me in Denmark. So as soon as I get the book from Claudia, I will do a part 1 video showing you all of the quotes. I'll show you the complete journal, or the journal up to date. Obviously, our international book is still traveling around, so the Amigurumi World Tour is not over yet. So please, you are still more than welcome to join in. Make any of the projects from the Whimsical Stitches book. You can email me a photo. I will pop it into our journal. And it is just fantastic to see how many people from so many different countries have joined in on this fantastic adventure we've been on. Now, even the author, the designer of this book, Lauren Espy, has been following along our journal, our book travels. So she has commented on just about every post I've made. When I post one of your photos, if the book reaches someone and they post on Instagram, or I post their photo on my community tab in YouTube, Lauren Espy has commented on just about all of it. So it was so much fun to have the actual designer behind the book sort of following along the journey with us. As I say, more than enough time to still join in. If you want to be in our journal, have your country, have your town represented in the Amigurumi World Tour. There's still a couple of months left, I think 2 or 3 months at least, before we're done with the international book as well. But thankfully, that book is moving along. So it's been so much fun. You guys, thank you. It would not have been nearly as much fun if you guys had not jumped on, just ran with this idea together with me. It's been so much fun. So I'm excited to receive the US book back. It's going to be a fun video going through the books as soon as they return to Denmark. All right, that is that on my one project. Now the next project I did, and often I tell you guys, I never know when a pattern is viral. Always there's some or other viral pattern going on in the world, and I always find out about it months after the trend has actually passed. This time is the first time that I'm actually sort of, while the trend is still happening, jumping on it. And it is so strange. Usually I am very proud of the fact that I can withstand a fair amount of group pressure. Clearly, if nothing else, if I've not learned anything else about myself in the last couple of years, being on YouTube and being part of this yarny community, is that actually I'm very much able to be influenced by other crocheters. So I'm not even going to pretend like I'm immune to peer pressure, because I'm not. And this project I'm going to show you is purely the result of peer pressure. It started about 2 weeks ago. I was watching a video by Starlight and Stitches. She hadn't posted in a while. A video popped up and she was talking about how she made this viral mushroom guy pattern by Critter Stitch Design. Now, up to seeing that video, I had no clue whatsoever that this pattern even existed. It was like took off on Reddit. I don't know what Reddit is, what it's about. I never go on there. I don't know the platform, but somehow this mushroom guy just sort of took off and everyone was making him. That was about 2 weeks ago. Then after that, I saw a video by the Faded Wildflower. She also made this mushroom guy. So now that I've seen this mushroom guy twice at that point, this was maybe about a week or so ago, I can't remember. Now, after that, it seemed that everywhere I looked, I saw this mushroom guy. The last straw, like the straw that broke the camel's back, was I was watching Natasha over at Hooks and Stitches, and she does this series where she draws like projects from a little bucket, what to make next. I think it's What's Next Wednesday is her the series of her. It's called something like What's Next Wednesday. And she draws from a bucket, and then she does the pattern that week that she drew out. Now, she didn't actually draw out the mushroom guy pattern, but she had like a big box of books and patterns that she showed us. And right in the front was the pattern of the mushroom guy. And she was explaining that she saw this pattern, she bought the pattern, and she threw it into this little bucket. And she hopes that eventually she will be able to pick it from the bucket. And I was like, what? How can someone have that amount of self-control? I've got to make something immediately. If I find something that I really want to make, I cannot wait 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks' time, I will not want to make it anymore. So when I saw that Natasha also had this pattern, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm going to buy that pattern that evening. I think it was Wednesday, this past Wednesday. I bought the pattern on Wednesday evening, actually after I saw Natasha's video. I started on the project on Thursday and I finished it on Friday. Now let me show you before I explain more about this mushroom guy. So some of you may have seen him already on my Instagram. I'm not really a shorts or a reels type of person. I'm really bad with making short content. Obviously, as you know, my videos are always extremely long, like almost between 20 and 30 minutes minimum. I cannot do short form, but I try to post the odd reel and short every now and again. So I made a little stop motion video, and it was stop motion was so hard for me, but I made this corny stop motion video. So try and find it. I think it's very funny. My son, I showed it to my son. I was so proud of it, and he's like, that's typical boomer humor. He was not impressed with my stop motion video at all. I'm still extremely impressed with it. Anyway, I made a stop motion where this little guy was like walking. But this is it. So I will link this pattern down below. It's not a difficult pattern at all. It does take quite a while. This is not a quick make. Now, he looks fairly small. I think a lot of people have made him in a plush yarn. Then it comes out about a toddler size. And I think this is why this pattern went viral, because someone made a video and said she thought she was making this small mushroom guy. It ends up that she was crocheting a toddler, because if you make it in like a plush yarn, it turns out to be a toddler size, which I can very well believe, because there's a lot of rows in this pattern. As I say, it is not a quick make. Anyway, it's not difficult at all. Really, really nice how this mushroom cap is done. Not difficult. As I say, nothing about this pattern is difficult. He's got very red cheeks, because part of my little stop motion was that he was blushing. So as I took the photos, his cheeks got increasingly red, and this was the end result of his blushing. So he's got very, very red cheeks. Obviously I embroidered the eyes, which I think just makes him look so cute. Like a lot of people, the majority of people make him with safety eyes, and he's got this cute derpy little look. I still think he looks a little derpy, but I do love him with the embroidered eyes. So he is really, really cute. There is some like shaping to him, not like a massive amount of shaping, but he does have a cute little figure, cute face, cute little hat. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's odd because, as I say, I'm sort of in a pattern indecision mode, like for months now. So I think maybe this is why I love doing crochet alongs. I'm part of quite a few different cals. And I think maybe this is why I keep on jumping on viral patterns, like the Mabel chicken, the loaf cat, now this mushroom guy. I think it just... a decision has been made. Obviously, a lot of people love it, so I'm going to try it. So probably I will be making more viral patterns. Well, if I... most of the time I will find it long after it's been viral. But I don't know. I've been enjoying it, you know, and seeing so many different versions of this guy popping up. Now, when I posted him on Instagram, a few people also said, oh, they're also busy making him. And so a lot of people are busy with him. It sort of feels almost like a crochet along going on with this mushroom guy. So him I made, you can see he's not particularly small. And I made him with Rainbow Cotton 86, which is a sport weight yarn. It's a yarn weight 2 and a 2.5 millimeter hook. So you can imagine how big he will be if you use bigger yarns. But this is a lovely size. I absolutely love how he turned out. Loved making it. And I will pop a link in the description. Not that I want to influence anybody. Like I say, I'm now past trying to explain why I fall for peer pressure. I'm embracing peer pressure. So peer pressure, come on in. We are going to be friends from now on. I've now tried to keep peer pressure away from me for long enough. So if there's a fun pattern going around, I'm going to jump on it. All right, you guys, so that was it. It was a fun week. Not a lot of things going on, to be honest. I mean, I've shown you only 2 projects, but I've enjoyed both of them. That's it. That is all I wanted to share with you this week. Thank you again for all the lovely comments you always put on my videos. I love getting to know all of you. I know I'm terrible at commenting back. I try every week to at least comment on, like, I'm trying to comment on as many as I can. I love receiving your emails. if you send me, as I mentioned, a project from the Whimsical Stitches book, or if you know you've sent me something and you don't see it in the journal, please let me know. It is very, very possible that I can just miss an email. There's a lot of emails coming in, so it's very possible that I may have missed your project. Sometimes things are going a bit crazy in life. I may even like put your photo next to someone else's name. Please let me know. I try to keep on top of things as much as I can, but we all know how life is. Life is busy, we get distracted. Well, clearly, I got distracted by a mushroom guy for the next week. I'm going to blame everything that went wrong on the mushroom guy that distracted me. Alright, you guys, I cannot wait to read your comments. I cannot wait to hear what you're busy with. If anyone else has fallen victim to the mushroom guy trend, let me know. We can start a support group. You are not alone. Anyway, I did love making him. Every time I do a viral pattern, I really want to go out into the world and say, I hated it, but I cannot say it. I actually loved making this guy. He was a lot of fun. All right, you guys, that's it. Now I'm just rambling on. As always, I love hanging out with you all. You are all a wonderful, very necessary part of my life. I love this community and I love hanging out with you all. So let me know what you're busy with. Let me know if you've got plans, if you have found some interesting patterns. I'm always on the lookout for something interesting, mainly because my crochet indecision is still going strong. All right, friends, that's it. I'm going to say goodbye for this week. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend so far. Today is March the 2nd, 2025. Sunday afternoon here in Copenhagen. Hope you've had a lovely weekend. I hope you are ready for the week ahead. And as always, friends, until I see you in the next video, stay safe and stay crafty.